2022 all the way to 2023 that led to quite a number of issues, including the death of people that took to the street to protest against the high cost of living that were led by Raila Odinga and the opposition faction. Years later, we've also been able to experience, that is the Gen Z-led protest in the country that happened this year. That is as far as protests are concerned. On the issue of police brutality, well, we've been able to see abductions in the country reported by different factions and different non-governmental organizations that are on that particular front, and also police brutality as far as IPOA is concerned. All those, to some extent, cementing what we'll call President William Ruto's reign for the past 2 years, coming at the backdrop of what he said, that he will not, his government rather, will not see the excessive use of force and also abductions to settle political scores. We'll be getting into the details of that. How is the state of the economy as far as inflation is concerned? The cost of living for that particular matter. Well, he came into office and said the prices of Uga are going to drop. Have you been able to experience that? This is just taking stock of the Ruto regime 2 years later. He still has 3 years to go before we get to the next election. Will you be surviving? Are you surviving? My name is Brian Amoy. Engage us on our socials at Amoy Brian. That is on X at K24 TV across social media platforms. We'll be sampling your feedback as we continue with the program this morning. Do tell us what you think about President William Ruto's reign for the past 2 years. What can you make of it? And also later on, we'll be having a conversation around the Mount Kenya politics. We do understand that different members of parliament have come out to say we're choosing Kithure Kindiki as opposed to Rigathi Gachagua to be able to lead us to 2027 elections. All right? But before that, I do want to take you through what's making headlines and as far as the news are concerned. Let's begin with this one. Now, Transport Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir yesterday found himself in unfamiliar territory after appearing before the Senate Transport Committee without proper documentation on the Adani JKIA deal. And as Ian Keitani now files, the CS was slammed by senators, terming his decision to appear empty-handed as unacceptable.
With the government under immense pressure to make the documents on the Adani JKIA deal public, with the entire deal shrouded in mystery and secrecy, Transport CS Davis Chirchir was today set to reveal key details and documentation regarding the deal. But in what seems like a complete disregard of concerns raised by millions of Kenyans, the CS showed up before the Senate Transport Committee empty-handed, claiming that the matter was in court and therefore the committee ought to hold on to the sessions.
While preparing to submit the documents, I was advised by my technical team of some developments that would possibly wish to do some housekeeping and confirm first whether we can prosecute this matter while there is a court case that was served on us.
This begged the question on how could a CS who on Wednesday claimed that the government had attempted to communicate about the deal in recent weeks appear before the committee to shed light on the matter without documentation. In what Chirchir thought was a smart move in explaining the decision to appear without documentation, the CS threw himself from the frying pan to the fire.
If you had a court order that is dating back to July, you should not have addressed yourself to the matters yesterday.
The sub judice rule can only be introduced if one of us brought that issue to the floor of the House. Otherwise, if it is the CS who's demanding, nothing stops this committee to demand the documents.
One of the questions that the committee sought to know is about labor-related issues. The matter in court does not even touch on the issue of labor-related. So why would the CS want to run away from giving that responsibility?
I observed when you walked in, I was very, very worried. You are not carrying any documents. So that we need to see what the pleadings in those cases are. It could have nothing to do with the matters that we want to discuss here today.
His actions could only but justify the concerns of Kenyans in regards to the government being out of touch with the reality. The senators did not take any prisoners.
Now, can you submit the documents?
Unfortunately, we did not come with the documents because we do not know the direction of the ruling.
For instance, if you do not know the outcome of a matter,
yes,
you prepare for both outcomes. If he knew that the ruling could go either way, then the documents should have been somewhere here. If we say we can't look at it, he pulls them out.
We expect you to do better than CS Murkomen. So you should start at the right footing. Don't start the way Murkomen used to mess all of us, Mr. Chair.
This is a court. I hope you understand that.
The committee was forced to adjourn its sittings, with the CS ordered to furnish the committee members with proper documentation and appear before it tomorrow morning.
My secretariat, they're saying they can actually wait until 6:30 today. But for us to get an opportunity to go through them, provide both in soft copy and hard copy. So to appear here before the committee at 9 a.m.
Ian Kitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Kithure Kindiki, has strongly refuted allegations that 70 students from Hillside and Russia boarding school are missing following a devastating fire that destroyed a boys' dormitory last Thursday. The tragedy, which has left the nation in mourning, resulted in death of 21 boys, with the government promising swift action to ensure justice is served. Mariam Jahid now reports.
As the country continues reeling from last week's tragedy at Hillside Indo-Russia Academy in Nyeri County, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kindiki Kithure has maintained that all students have been accounted for after extensive tracing and processing of data.
The government has nothing to hide.
The school has a total of 843 students, of which 330 are boarders, 164 boys and 166 girls. Out of the 164 boys from grade 4 to 8, 143 are confirmed alive, with 140 currently with their parents.
Any other person trying to play whatever game, trying to advance some whatever other statistics, is a heartless criminal and an enemy of the society. Because when we are hurting at a time like this is not the time to bring triviality.
Kindiki has also vowed that those responsible for the fire outbreak, as well as any failures in duty, will face justice.
That this catastrophic event was caused by a person. We will pursue and get justice on behalf of the families and all those people who may have contributed to this tragedy through action, inaction, conduct, misconduct, advertently, inadvertently, will be brought to account.
This comes even as Chief Government Pathologist Johansen Odor conducted postmortems on the remains of the 21 boys who tragically lost their lives in the inferno.
All of them had varying degrees of burns, which were caused by fire. So upon doing the autopsy, because what we noted that they were unidentifiable, meaning that because of the fire, it was difficult for the relatives to really identify who really were their children. So with that, we shifted to the laboratory, in which now we have taken samples for analysis.
The parents of 2 students who succumbed to their injuries in hospital were present during the postmortems.
They'll be compared with the samples which were taken earlier from the fathers and mothers of the disease, which now will be reconciled, so that now we'll be able to see whose child is whose.
The counsellors from other agencies have been able to support the affected families with psychosocial supports, counselling, and the ability to assist them come to terms with this tragedy and this loss, which of course is irreplaceable.
The government continues to investigate the cause of the fire, with the affected families said to wait for a month to identify their loved ones and give them a befitting send-off, even as the government promised to cater for burial expenses. The planned demonstration at the school today, intended to call on the government to expedite the investigations, did not take place.
Currently, as we are here, the police are guarding the scene and investigations are on.
No kids, no school! No kids, no school!
Mariam Jahid, K24, Nyeri.
All right, a section of Marikiti traders in Nairobi are counting losses following a standoff that ensued between them and the county leadership. The traders staged protest opposing their relocation to Kangundo Market. And as Milia Kisenya now reports, the standoff led to the burning down of the county's general store office next to the market.
This was the situation early this morning. What should have been a normal market day turned into running battles between the police and traders from Marikiti Market in Nairobi County. A short notice of their relocation to Kangundo Market, spiking rage amongst the traders, leading to the destruction of the county's general stores. And barricading of some section of the road leading to Nairobi's CBD.
Kangundo ilijengwa kitambo na watu wa huko already wameoccupy. Kwa hivyo hata hakuna mahali mtu anaweza hata simamisha hata personal nje.
Hakuna vita tuko nayo, hakuna mambo tuko nayo. Wametuletea tear gas. Tear gas kuharibu sana. Wanatutupia hivi chini. Hiyo ndio kitu ile makosa wanafanya. Wanatupa chini, umesimama hivi una mambo, unasikia kitu imelipuka chini yako. That's why tunauliza, kwani ni kutuua amekuja kutuua?
Siwezi toka Kinoo niende hapa mahali kwingine tena nitoke hapo mahali kwingine nifike town tena nipande gari kwingine. Hiyo itakuwa imeniadhiri.
As we speak, it has enough space for over 5,000 people. It has no people. We are moving these people there because that is an infrastructure that has been lying idle.
The traders feel strained and are in great distress following the losses incurred. An estimated of 20 million Kenya shillings in revenue was lost, and 200 lorries towed with fresh produce.
Kama saa hii niko na mzigo imebeba 800,000. Iko pale kwa parking ya forward. Na sasa huko hata sio kwa kanjo, ni kama kwa mtu binafsi, juu nalipa kanjo 7,000 per day. Haya, parking nayo nalipa 2,000 per day.
Lori ya TZ imejaa machungwa, ni 800, imefugwa leo, haitafuguliwa kesho. Huyu gavana bado hata simu zetu tumejaribu kupiga usiku hachukui.
The traders have vowed to halt their operations until their demands are met.
Sakaja soko ni kubwa kuliko. Watu ni wengi. We have thousands. Na hakuna mahali tunaenda. Juu we know here. This is our home. Tumelelewa hapa miaka, wazazi wetu wamekuwa huko. Yeye ni nani imekuja sasa imeweza kututoa? Akuje atengeneze soko ikuwe mzuri na ikae na parking badala ya kutoa watu.
We are not relenting on the issue that the wholesalers must relocate.
Meanwhile, the standoff has raised eyebrows from the political class, with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua urging Governor Sakaja to end the mess. However, the Nairobi County leadership is remaining adamant.
I want to condemn them in the hardest possible words, because these were opportunistic politicians who thrive in disorderliness, and we will take them personally liable, especially for the arson attack on our facility.
Milia Kisenya, K24 TV.
Now, President William Ruto has launched the National Climate Resilience Program, which aims to create job opportunities for over 200,000 youth countrywide involved in environmental projects in their communities, which is also known as Climate Works Mtaani. Now, the initiative seeks to enhance the livability of Kenya's cities through the greening of urban spaces, cleaning and rejuvenation of rivers around them. Timothy Simwa reports.
President William Ruto was in Korogosho, Nairobi today to launch Climate Works program along the heavily polluted Nairobi River. The head of state says Climate Works is a powerful, incisive and transformative intervention aimed at achieving ecological restoration while maintaining public infrastructure and housing through labor-intensive and sustainable public works.
Our vision for Climate Works is to activate talent and capability in community service, entrepreneurship, employment, and further education. Climate Works will be a platform where diverse skills and competencies are applied to climate action and community transformation.
According to Dr. Ruto, the first phase of the project will create employment opportunities for youth in Nairobi County when it kicks off on October 1st next month.
From since 2017, hadi saa hii si tumeishi tumevolunteer, hadi wengi wetu mabibi zao pia walitoroka kwa sababu unapata unakuja enyewe you are doing this thing by passionate, lakini mfuko yako unaenda home bila kitu.
Vijana 20,000 watakuwa katika hii mpango. Baadaye tutaongeza vijana 10,000 katika sehemu zingine ambazo haziko katika mito hapa Nairobi.
In essence, Climate Works will complement the efforts of Com Green Youth, an environmental conservation group in partnership with the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, to clean up the Nairobi River. In a month, the head of state is promising to take the initiative in other cities, including Kisumu, Mombasa, Eldoret, and Nakuru.
Alafu itafuata zile counties zote kufikia pale Disemba, ili tuhakikisha kwamba hawa vijana wanapata nafasi ya mapato na pia wachangie katika kukabiliana na matatizo ya mabadiliko ya mambo ya mazingira.
By December 2024, the government intends to have launched the project across all the 47 counties that will bring on board at least 140,000 youth.
It aims to employ 200,000 young people, young men and women from every part of Kenya in the development of critical infrastructure and environmental projects within their communities.
Climate Works further aims to eliminate illegal dumping of solid waste and discharge of effluents in urban areas and make communities resilient to adverse effects of climate change.
All of us, if you are going to be polluting the river, you must prepare to make sure that you are held to account and you pay for it, so that we can keep the river clean and everybody becomes responsible for their behavior.
Timothy Simwa, K24 TV.
Now, the control of budget has raised concerns over the capacity of county governments to absorb their allocated budgets effectively. A new report shows that in the financial year 2023-2024, counties collectively utilized only 57.5% of their development budgets, down from 61% in the previous financial year. Now, this indicates a worrying trend, with most counties struggling to implement key projects. Delayed disbursement from the National Treasury has also been cited as a contributor to low absorption. The devolved units are once again on the spot over their inability to fully absorb funds allocated to them. The counties are grappling with low absorption rate of their development budgets. According to the Controller of Budget report for the financial year 2023-2024, the 47 county governments collectively spent 109.23 billion of the 189.93 billion allocated for development. This means they achieved an overall absorption rate of 57.5%, marking a decline from 61% recorded in the financial year 2022-2023, when the county spent 97.98 billion. Several counties, however, managed to utilize the majority of their development budgets. Narok led with 90.3% absorption rate, followed closely by Homa Bay at 86.3%, Wajir at 83.4%, Mandera at 82.6%, and Meru and Bomet at 79.3% and 76.2% respectively. On the opposite side, Nyandarua absorbed only 45.9%, with Garissa 44.8%, Mombasa 43.4%, Nairobi 38.7%, Kisumu 37.0%, and Kisii 29.2%, trailing far behind. On the recurrent expenditure side, counties spent 337.53 billion, representing 90.5% of the recurrent budget. A significant portion of this, which is 209.84 billion, went towards personal costs, while 127.69 billion was used for operations and maintenance. The report shows delays in revenue disbursement from the National Treasury, high personnel costs and low on-source revenue collection, pending bills and excessive spending on travel, which amounted to 17.60 billion, are at the center of preventing the counties from living up to their full potential. To improve budget absorption and implementation, the Controller of Budget recommends that counties enhance revenue collection, contain personal costs, and ensure that they prioritize development spending to meet the legal threshold of 30%. Additionally, timely submission of reports and minimizing travel costs are urged. This low absorption rate raises concerns about the ability of counties to implement key development projects aimed at improving the living standards of their citizens. Now, police in Mukuru kwa Ruben have shot and killed Shadrach Ongare, who is alleged to have been playing with his friends after the police demanded for kickbacks that they did not receive, leading to a push and pull that took the life of Shadrach. Now, one more person was left nursing injuries in his private parts. Robbie Omondi reports.
According to members of the public who witnessed the incident, Shadrach Ongare and his friends come here to play pool every evening. The police came demanding for a handout as usual, but that was in vain, leaving Shadrach with a bullet.
Polisi na tabia yao ya kuua vijana wadogo, vijana maskini, wakaamua kupiga huyu Shadrach risasi ya tumbo.
Another man is said to have been physically tortured and left nursing injuries in his private parts.
Na katika hiyo harakati wakaanza kumdhulumu, kumpiga, kumfinya sehemu ya siri, kumpiga pingu na kuanza kumvuruta katika hii hali ya barabara. Hapo ndio ilifika sasa vijana ambao walikuwa wanaona maonevu ya polisi dhidi ya huyu mwenzao, wakaanza kudai haki na kulazimisha polisi iwache hiyo tabia mbaya ya kudhulumu kijana wa pool.
Esther Ongayo is Shadrach's mother. She has been left to grieve after her innocent son's life was cut short.
Shilingi 100 yezi kafanya mtoto mchanga hivi apoteze maisha yake, mtoto ambaye tulikuwa tunamtegemea. Ambapo mtoto tumemlelea katika shida. Si eti kwamba tunazo, hapana. No, hatuna. Nile tulikuwa tunajikaza na tulikuwa tumejua hali ya kungangana kumlea hivyo atatuokoa kesho, hata akipata Mungu akimfungulia atatuokoa sisi.
Mimi watu wenye nataka ni askari ashikwe, afungwe. Na haki ya mtoto ipatikane.
Correct.
Human rights group Haki Africa, who got to the scene in time, claim that the police may have wanted to remove the bullet from Shadrach's body to avoid the blame for his death.
Tuko na mashahidi ambao walishuhudia kijana akipigwa risasi, na tuko na bullet entry that you've also confirmed. Now there's no exit. Mbona tuwezi pata risasi? So we demanded for further forensic investigation, and that's why tulielewana na IPOA na all the stakeholders tukafanya x-ray. And true to our words, true to our feelings, true to our expectation, risasi ilipatikana hapa chini ya mtoto.
They have assured that the police who shot Shadrach and abused the injured will face the full force of the law.
Want the police officer who did all those things to be taken to court with immediate effect. Na kama haitawezekana, watu waachie tushike huyo mtu sisi wenyewe, tupeleke kwa police station kule Australia. Angojee huko mashtaka yake.
According to members of the public, the police come here daily demanding for cash from small businesses, including those that sell local brew.
Ni afisa ambaye amekuwa na tabia na maafisa wenzake kuzunguka wakiokota pesa ya hongo, yani mulungula, katika zile sehemu ambao wanauza pombe, maduka, mahali pataka, kila mahali wakichukua pesa ya hongo kinyume cha sheria.
To this end, they are calling for a speedy investigation and legal action against the police involved.
We are demanding for police accountability. Haiwezekani polisi kila siku. Uweze niambia ati polisi msharaka ndogo ndio maana wanaiba, na huyu mwenye ana kazi anachukua hongo kwa nani? Yule mama mwenye ana kazi anachukua hongo kwa nani? Kwa hivyo ni desturi na tabia ya polisi kuchukua hongo, kudhulumu vijana wa bodaboda, kusumbua wafanyabiashara rejareja na kuona vijana ambao wanaishi katika vitongoji vijuni kama criminals. Sisi tunakataa. We cannot deal with poor young people as criminals.
Robbie Omondi, K24.
All right. that is as far as the news are concerned here on New Dawn. Now, we do want to take a break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at what's happening on the dailies and also later on having a conversation about 2 years of President William Ruto's reign here in the country. And we'd like to hear from you and get your feedback on this particular conversation that we'll be having here on the program. About 2 years of President William Ruto's reign, what exactly do you make of it as far as the economy is concerned, police brutality, entire governance, some of the things that have been able to rock his government ever since he was sworn in on the 13th of September 2022. It was a historic moment. And yes, 2 years later, have you been able to feel any effect as far as his governance is concerned? Do you believe some of the promises that he had made during campaign have been achieved? Should we give him time to do that? That is those are some of the feedback or some of the concerns that a lot of people have been having, and we'd like to hear from you on exactly what you think about the 2 years of President William Ruto's reign here on New Dawn. My guest, Stephen Mokesi, thank you so much for making time. What do you make of 2 years of President William Ruto? One word as I take a break.
Complex.
Complex. Right. Complex. We'll be getting into the details of that when we come back, and also taking a look at the Mount Kenya politics. Rigathi Gachagua is no longer a kingpin, according to some of the reports coming from the ground. People don't want him, right? We'll be getting into that when we come back from this break.
Joe Jefferson, a boy from the ordinary world, Earth, has been summoned to Muddle Earth, a medieval fantasy world. Full of monsters, mayhem, and he must fight evil on behalf of the wizard Randolph.